got one that can see.
Logic before authority. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. Let's take a look at something that many of you are going to find very interesting. And I'm talking about, several things. I'm talking about the reality of things that are going on right now, and the fact that, one, I and my people that work with me on the Supernatural Show, we have predicted prior to these things happening that these things would be happening. Okay. And I wanted to show you this, but I also want to show you that it was within iPetGoat, which is one of the ways I was able to see and know that these things would come to play. So we're going to watch a little scene. I've got the audio turned off and I've got it slowed down a little bit. This is right towards the very end at the 5 minute and 47 second area of iPetGoat 2. And iPetGoat 2, if you're unaware, is an animated 7 minute and 30 second video that a group called Heliofont out of Canada put together, and it depicts the events of the recent past, going back to around 9/11 in 2001, going forward to into the future right around now. Okay. So, and it's been extremely accurate. And I will say, I will take credit that I was the one that broke the code of understanding iPetGoat. And if you go back on this channel, Logic Before Authority, about, somewhere as close to 9 months to a year ago, you'll see all the videos where I really started nailing down, breaking the code, that it's all biblical is basically what we're looking at. So let's look at this. Okay, there was what you just seen just now is where it is dark outside, of course, and the daylight returns. And this guy represents a deity, a star, you might say, in the heavens. He's dancing around in an area called the theater, or basically the heavens. Okay, but the sun returns, and then this scene comes along, and you see that they're showing and depicting symbolism wise. This is a gargoyle, of course, and it's right at the top of a Vesica Pisces, where a spirit is being birthed out. And you see that there is a solar climax, or a climax of some type. It is just what it is. I'm not trying to be profane. Matter of fact, I'm just trying to tell you the truth of what we're witnessing and what we're seeing in the heavens happening right now. So let's continue and let's look. And there's the Vesica Pisces with this deity coming out. This is basically the Antichrist spirit. And he's been sailing through the heavens for time immemorial, coming back around for his appearance. Okay. And he's been in a boat. It's symbolism for the way he travels. And he comes on out. You can see that he has a crown of thorns around his head. That is the restrainer. Okay. It symbolizes him being restrained. That will disappear here in a minute, and he will be unrestrained. But that is what is happening actually as we speak right now. So let's move forward. You can see that there are lilies blooming on the water. So that symbolically, that means this is a morning scene. Okay. The beginning of a new day. Okay. Is what this is. And because lilies, they rise above the water in the morning as the sun rises, and when the sun sets, they retract below the water again. So this is symbolically a new day, a new time, a new era is arriving, and we're there. Now you're getting ready to see something here. Well, a couple things. One, you can see that he is on fire. His chest area, his heart area is on fire, and his feet are on fire. And he's in a chariot or a boat. It's all about symbolism, okay? And he's, you could say very easily that we've seen things similar to that in video being recorded out of Texas and a few other places. But there's other things I want to focus on here. Okay, look and notice that, first off, realize this is an animated video, okay? And so anything, every little pixel in here is on purpose, and it means something. Just like the fact you can see an eagle up here, that's Aquila, okay? That is Aquila. That's the celestial sign or the celestial stars that make up what's called Aquila. It's the eagle, okay? And it's in the heavens there because it's letting us know a time. Like right now, if you go out in the morning time and you look to the east, what's rising up above the horizon is Aquila, okay? Not only Aquila, but Scorpio as well is rising. And so let's continue here. Oh, excuse me. See the lens flare right here? I find it very interesting that there's a lens flare here. Why is there a lens flare? Is it just, there's a purpose for everything. But why the lens flare? There's no real purpose for that to show up in this. You see it? And then I find it very interesting that, of course, y'all guys know that we've seen some photos that look like there's a lens flare of the eclipse that is showing what looks like a toroidal type portal thing. Just like what we've talked about in the past prior to the eclipse, is that we're expecting, as the sun and the moon come together, that it creates a very powerful event similar to a man and a woman coming together and something coming through or going through. It's what a portal does. It allows something to go through or come through. And in this case, it appears that something came through. We've seen the chariots of fire. We've seen the black entities flying in the heavens and around, and it's been photographed numerous times and video of it numerous times, especially out of Texas, which is where the images of the portal came from. I'm looking to get more images from y'all guys as to where these things are. If you've got photos of the eclipse on April 8th, look at them and see if you can find a lens flare, okay? Let me describe where a lens flare will be. Over here on the left, like in this situation here, this lens flare is in the correct position. The point of light, if it's over to the left, the lens flare will be to the right. If the point of light is upwards, considering this is the very center of the screen, if it's above this and to the left, then it will be below and to the right. It's the opposite is what it is. It's like the anti-flare, okay? Like the anti-Christ, or like the Arctic and the Antarctic is the opposite. And so the lens flare will be in the opposite position of where the point of light or the source of light is. So that's how you locate the lens flare. If the sun was up over here, then the lens flare would be down over here. If the sun was up over here, the lens flare would be down here. So it's just opposites. If the sun was here, the lens flare would be down here. Or if the sun was down here, the lens flare would be up here. Think anti-Christ, anti-opposites. This is the spirit of the anti-Christ being coming into this world. He was just birthed. Here we go, seeing sun's rising. We have Aquila. We have a lens flare that they decided to put in for some reason. Sorry, guys, I got interrupted there for a second. So here we have, let's back up one more time. Let's let this play through. We got the birth of a new day. Here he starts waking up. He's like a puppy's eyes that open after birth. After a while, he's waking up. He's looking straight ahead and he sees fire and destruction. And behind him is ice and destruction. And the church and the temple. And you can see this is the area right down here where he just came out of. He was birthed out of the symbolic vesica Pisces of the church itself. Okay. And then, of course, this is like Notre Dame that starts falling down that we've all talked about in the past. And, of course, we talked about that he's got a comet or something like that on his chin, or a ball of fire, just like the other figure that's in here that looks like Bin Laden. Okay. And you'll notice that let me back it up just a second here. His crown, you see the crown? Okay. That is symbolically the restrainer that is holding the Antichrist spirit back for them to do the things that they're planning to do. Okay. When that barbed wire disappears, that is the restrainer being removed that the Bible talks about. You see? So it disappears. There's some sparks and it disappears. And then things start going off the hook behind him. You can even see over here on the right, there's a sarcophagus, looks like. And also, there's one that looks like a sarcophagus, and there's one that looks like a phallic symbol, or either another sarcophagus over here. This is going all the way back to ancient Egypt and all time immemorial, I guess you'd say. But you have destruction going on. And then let's take a look at what we see when this scene turns. See, he's moving forward now. He's got his purpose set. Things are underway. He's unrestrained anymore and fully awake and functional in this world. And you can see some interesting colors, a lot of very interesting colors in all of this, including the clouds back here. Very interesting, very, very similar in a lot of ways, color-wise, to the things that we're seeing in the heavens right now. But why is this ice got all these colors like this on it? Because this is just images of ice, but you've got all these reds and purples and blues and greens and everything all over this scene now all of a sudden. Why is that? What is the light that is shining upon this scene now symbolically that's causing this? Well, let's take a look. It's this. It is a sun that is pulsing. The sun is pulsing, and there are fireballs or chariots of fire or something symbolically of fire flying down through the heavens, coming out of the pulsing sun, right? You see, they're coming out of the pulsing sun. The sun itself is sparking, and it's releasing these X-class, as they call them, appropriately named X-class flares. What was it that we said that we were going to be seeing prior to the eclipse? We said that the sun was going to be releasing. We could see that it appeared that it looked like the sun was going to be releasing some very large flares. Well, did it come true? We just had the largest one they claim in 500 years. And 500 is the cycle of the phoenix, the rise and fall of the phoenix, which is why they chose the number 500. So here we have Aquila in the sky, Scorpio over here, and something that looks like a little baby sitting here looking at the sun rising, like a little Buddha baby or something. You can see the scorpion's tail. You can see its claw. This is all about symbolism. And the pyramids that you see right here, these three, those are symbolic for Babylon. They're the powers of the world, and they're about to be destroyed. Symbolically by one of the fireballs, or whatever the fireballs ultimately represent, which I think ultimately it represents deities, chariots of fire that are coming in. Now it will play out that way in the heavens, but then anything that plays out in the heavens will also play out on earth. It may play out on earth. Instead of it being a deity, a chariot of fire, it may be more like a ICBM or something like that coming from a submarine, because that is depicted as taking place in this video. Right in this scene right here is depicting that there's a submarine, a shark depicted in there. It's the only thing in that image, maybe I'll go show it to you in a minute, that is getting larger the whole time that the camera is backing off. There's only one thing that's increasing in size while everything else is decreasing in size. That is the shark that is in the image there. But I want to finish this first. Maybe we'll jump over there. I want y'all guys' photos of the eclipse and of auroras. I'm asking for you to text those to me. You can text them to that number right there. If you've got a large file like a video or something, you can try emailing it to me at Daniel at TheSupernatural.Show. Daniel at TheSupernatural.Show. And if you send an email, text me and let me know, so that way I can look for it. And if I don't get it, we can figure out a different way to get it to me. Okay. We're talking about videos of either auroras or of the eclipse that have a lens flare in the video, or pictures of the eclipse while the eclipse was taking place. Not necessarily totality. It could be any level of coverage, whether it was just starting to occult the sun, cover the sun, or whether it was 50% or 90% or even totality. I'd like to see those photos. I want to look at the lens flares, which is depicted even in I Pet Goat, unbelievably, and see what I can see, because they allow you to see something that otherwise would not be able to be seen. So that's your number there, 843-284-3343. We're going to be live tomorrow, and I want to be able to show a lot of these photos, and let's see what else we can see, to be able to know what's going on, know the truth, and be able to see it coming and know ahead of time, just like we have with knowing that the solar flares would be coming, and knowing that the balls of fire are coming, symbolically in the heavens and also on the earth. So let's see here. So we've got the sun pulsing. These are solar flares. They're depicting solar flares. The sun pulsing. This was all foretold to you guys weeks and months prior, and even years probably, prior to the eclipse. And of course, one of them struck the first pyramid and it fell, and then the two other pyramids fall as well. That is the fall of Babylon. That is the fall of America, or the controlling system of the world. It's not just about America. It's about the controlling system of the world, which America has the majority foothold in. Then, of course, we have the Heliophant, the language of the sun. logo with a little dot off the eye sliding over, which was the Devil's Comet, was represented during the eclipse because, of course, this O is an eclipse taking place. This video I went over so much of this with y'all guys and decoded it completely over the years. Let me go back over here and show you this scene real quick. It's right this scene right here, basically. And watch and notice that the flag has been ripped off. The apple has fallen. Destruction is underway. You can see tsunamis. You can see the clock is set at midnight. Midnight. Okay. It was midnight inside the classroom as well. There's Psalm 23 and a lightning bolt depicted as graffiti here. And then there's a reflection also in the window here. So now as this backs off, notice this thing here. As it comes off a little bit more, you're going to be able to see that it looks like a shark's fin and a shark's mouth and body. And it's going to get bigger while everything else gets smaller as it zooms out. So watch. See, it's growing in size while pretty much everything else is getting smaller. You see? And that's symbolism for a shark. And shark, what we're talking about there, you're talking submarine. Okay? I've showed you the symbolism of the 10 horns. Okay? From Revelation, the 10 horns that will hate her being Babylon, Mystery Babylon, the whore that sits on the back. Okay. And those are the countries, the red countries, the red dragon countries that are going to come against the powers that be, which America is sitting right in the center of that powers that be, because we have the biggest military in the world. We have the biggest media system in the world, and we control the banking system. Okay. You need more, like controlling the weather and other things like that. So you've got this scene. This is what's happened in the past, as well as what's happening now and what's happening in the near future is what is being depicted throughout this whole thing. You see, of course, it's showing us back in September, back in that year when I knew nothing would ever be the same again. And that happened. Now, why am I showing you this? Because I'm showing you what's going to come next. Have I not been right on pretty much everything so far? Ahead of it happening so far. Did I not say weeks and months ahead of the eclipse that something was going to be coming down? What did we end up seeing? Chariots of fire and something coming down, flying around in the heavens. Looked like demons. Looked like, let me see if I've got this image here that I could show you real quick. Looked like this. Open it up here. Look like this. This is the Illuminati playing card called Plague of Demons. You see? And Dan, if you're watching this and you wanted to know what was on this guy's forehead, it's easy to see now. You probably, if you're on your phone, you still can't see it that good, but it's just the yellow pyramid with a dot in the middle, like the all see an eye kind of thing being depicted. And here we go with the Plague of Demons, the black things that you can't really see exactly what they look like flying around in the heavens. And a red sky, reddish and yellow looking sky, like something weird's going on in the heavens, kind of like auroras. This is a gift that Father has given me to be able to discern these things and be able to understand these things. They put these images out there and they think it's a cartoon. It's a card game. No one will ever be able to discern what these things mean. Just like the I Pet Goat animated video. Daniel, it's just an animated video. It's a cartoon. It don't mean nothing. I've proven that wrong many, many times. Here is the submarine coming in, of course, that I've talked about. And you can see the submarine cuts the head off. Here's a head with a helmet, or a helmet for a head. And you got the tip of the spear here that cuts the head off. And it's showing this, well, you've seen the character before. And the character's back here on top of this, which was symbolized during Soleimani's death, General Soleimani, that Trump had killed. Remember, Trump ordered his execution. They blowed him up, they said. And then they had this big funeral, and they were riding through on top of a white truck, and they were all dressed in black, standing on top of it during the funeral. Soleimani. And I showed that to y'all guys when that happened, didn't I? And here you have symbolism for exactly the things that are going on. We have a toroidal looking cloud system here. The heavens looking toroidal. See them? You have an eclipse, imagery of an eclipse. You have a comet on his beard. And you have even a toroidal towel wrapped around his head. And he has wings. He has black wings, like as if he could be flying around in the sky, like what we've seen. This is the coming of the anti-spirit, the antichrist spirit, and his angels that will be with him. You see, everything in this world works in reflections and mirrors. So if God had a son and he was Christ, Satan will have a son and he will be the antichrist. Okay? And he will come forth into this world just like is happening right now. And I am starting to feel like it's going to be more of a possession kind of thing, you might say, where he ultimately, there's a man or a woman or something in the middle, if you know what I mean, that it will possess. Okay. And I say man or woman or an it because I know their agenda. And you can also look at a Baphomet and see that it has male and female symbolic sexual organs. Okay, male and female. And what is their agenda right now? Is to put man and woman back together again. Is to blend the two, right, at a minimum. So those are the reasons why I can see that's what they're going to do. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be a man that steps forward. He may look like a man, but it's not even a man. He may look like a woman, but he's not even a woman exactly. And I have suspicion that this individual is either in their 20s right now or maybe up to 30 years old. I could be wrong on that because I don't have enough for sure to know. And there's reasons why I'm thinking 20s to age 30, because I know they're going to want to image or reflect or mirror Christ, because it's the antichrist, the opposite. So they want to reflect it, a mirror image of it. So if they did that, then when did Christ start his ministry? Technically, full blown, it was 30 years old, right? Now we know there were things that happened before then, but still, I'm thinking in the 20s, maybe up to 30 years old. Okay. So Again, we're talking about this scene. We're looking at something with wings that has the ability to be able to fly. And then you got these things behind him back here that are missiles. They have the ability to fly. And they create a ball of fire coming in, don't they? And he has a ball of fire on his chin. This is all symbolism for the things that are coming. And we're not going to have to wait long. Time has been shortened. You could call it sped up, shortened, whatever. We're not going to have to wait. Another little area I want to show you, because this event technically I don't believe has happened yet. And it's this event right here. The biggest thing would be to identify what mosque is this? Well, who's the major player in the news that has a mosque that is in the what's considered the horn area? You can see these horns right here. And the mosque itself sits very close to a long span bridge. You see this bridge back here? It's a long span bridge over water is what that's symbolizing, with a big city nearby. So what is that? Well, I'll show you what that is. That's this mosque. As you can see with the, see if I can open this picture for you a little bit better. It's this mosque. It's got the long span bridge right behind it. It's in Turkey. And it's in an area of Turkey that's has something to do with being called the Horn. And so all that symbolism lines up, and Turkey's in the news and basically on the edge of war with Israel. And so, yeah, this is the location, I do believe, that is going to be hit in the very near future. It's going to be destroyed, and it's going to be a kind of like the video I've been putting out lately with the what do you call them? The little, God, why in the world can I think of what I'm trying to say? Dominoes. So it'll be a major domino when it comes to a war, and part of the overall big show that's being put on the world stage. Okay, you can come read about this if you want to. The name of it's called the, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, of course, but the Or Takwe Mosque, something like that. You can see it spelled there. I'll show you what it looks like on Google Earth, which really can't tell much, but you can see there's a lot of things around, including some large city buildings and such over this way. Right over here, I think, somewhere. Let me just back out a little bit. There he goes. Right here. There, and over here, of course. A lot of very large buildings. And I'm sure if I would look a little bit more, I'd match those up with the scene that we're talking about. But I already am about 99% sure this is the mosque that's going to be hit, that is destroyed by Israel, and is going to be the tipping point for a war to break out. here in the very near future. And I mean very near. So with that being said, let's see what else I got. I wanted to show you that so that you would know this is all planned. It's all part of a plan. And yes, the evil people of the world are participating with this plan that goes along with the return of the Antichrist. There you go. Transformation, the crying and the wailing begins. And I could go on and on with this video, of course. On and on and on and on. But I wanted to show you a couple things. Like we were talking about lens flares and things like that. And how to find a lens flare. I've explained that to you. And I want you to send me any Aurora stuff that you can run across. And realize that the auroras that are going on right now are so large and so powerful that they can be seen. Sorry, didn't turn the audio off on that. They can be seen in other situations, like right here with this thunderstorm. It would, in the late evenings when there's a storm in the west, and even just other situations, you can see some crazy colors around some storms right now. And if you have any photos of any of this kind of stuff, I'm asking for you to send it over to me, and so that it can be included on tomorrow's show. And hopefully y'all guys will be able to be there. And guys, one last thing. If I don't get some further support from you guys, because I spend my time all the time, 7 days a week. I've given my life to this mission. I don't have time to go out and hunt down dimes and nickels. I have to depend, and I have for 15 years. Well, really, it ain't been that. I've been doing this for 15, but I've depended on y'all guys for about 7. But I have to depend on y'all guys. And right now, I don't know if somebody's not paying attention, okay, or something, but I need y'all guys' support. I've got bills right now that need to be paid. My cell phone's turned off. My car's broke down. I ain't got no insurance. I ain't got nothing. I ain't been to the grocery store in a month. I'm out of food. I don't have any money, but yet I'm still focusing, and I still want to show y'all guys this stuff. I still want you to know what's going on. I still want you to know ahead of time what's going on, like I've been showing you now for months or years, really years. I was referring to the eclipse, but I'm having to worry about the electricity getting turned off the next 2 days. I'm having to worry about the fact that I can't communicate with Dan or Shannon because my cell phone's turned off. I'm having to worry about that I don't have any food in the fridge and no way to go get any. Is this the way this works with someone who does what I do? I don't know. It don't seem like it should work this way. I'd appreciate any help y'all guys can get. The links are down below. I'll see you tomorrow on the live show. This has been Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. Sorry. See you tomorrow, guys.
I've got one that can see.
Logic Before Authority.